Before internet was invented, we have a really limited way to entertain ourselves. In the histories written by Herodotus, he mentioned that 3000 years ago, the kingdom of Lydia suffered from a really big famine. At first, the citizens of Lydia hoped that it will be better soon. However, one day, they can't stand it anymore. At this time, the king of Lydia offered one requirement for all the citizens. This request has become a life-saving straw for the starving people. The request was like this. On the first day, everyone in the country don't need to think about anything. All they need to do is to play games. On the second day, people don't play games and they eat food. On the third day, they play games. On the fourth day, they eat food and so on. In these 80 years, they invented dice, knuckle bones, and balls, and other ancient toys. You can say that people of Lydia escaped it from the reality of famine. But I want to emphasize that playing games is the nature of human beings and the core of it has never changed before. People love to play games and it's just the medium of entertainment has changed a lot. In 19th and early 20th century, people don't have too many ways to entertain themselves and recreations are mainly outside sport activities such as soccer. We experience the fierce competition against each other, and we can gain a lot of fun from sports. Happiness, sadness, reverse, and championships. We can learn a lot of things from competing with each other, and even from our opponents. It makes us mentally stronger and more importantly, we enjoy it. That's the important things of playing games. Besides sports, movies and TV dramas are also important components of people's entertainment before internet was invented. In the past, people used to binge on DVD box sets for movies and TV dramas. People must go to cinema to appreciate the movies they like. Also, it is worth to mention that a lot of classic movies came out from this time of period such as 2001, A Space Odyssey and Titanic. However, because at this time the internet has not been invented or it is not so advanced, it is limited to really small amount of people to watch, which is really a shame. However, now it is totally different. Now, most people watch in moderation and streaming services are a really great way of finding new shows and films to watch, because they also make recommendations based on other things that you have watched, potentially opening you up to new cinematic experience. Internet makes movie available for people all around the world without limitations. When we talk about internet and entertainment, one thing we cannot ignore to talk about is video games. The video game industry really booms after the internet was invented, and now people around the world really start to enjoy playing games. Playing games is a natural choice of people under this high-pressure society. This world has much more game players beyond our imagination. There are 4 million resident players in Middle East, meaning that they play 13 hours per week on average. Russia, Vietnam, Mexico, and South America has more than 10 million resident players. Australia has 15 million players and Korea has 17 million players. Europe has 100 million players and America has 183 million players. And about China has 200 million players. In the United States, 99% of family heads are playing games, and 97% of the teenagers are playing games. 40% of the players are females and 1 out of every 4 players are over 50 years old. It is internet that accomplished this phenomenon. Internet allows people do not need to go outside door to play with each other. Now people are spending several hours a week playing with and against players from all over the world. The game publishers also see this chance and produce tons of games that can enable people play with each other. You can fight against the fierce monster in the magic world with your friends, or you can also have an immersive experience into the Japanese old tales by yourself. There are just so many options for the players right now. Take the example of Mario, which is the second biggest game franchise in the world. In a really short period, we can see the development of the gaming technology, from Mosaic to 3D World. Mario has changed a lot since it was released in 1981. Now players can clear the course with their friends or other players all around the world by the internet. or they can create their own course and upload it to the internet for other players to enjoy. Internet has given a lot of possibilities not only to the gaming industry but also to all the players around the world. They can comment on it or share their opinions through the internet, and sometimes they can even participate into the produce of a game by the internet. Or they can choose to form their own group or community on the internet and find the people who has the same interest with them. The internet just gives them so much possibilities to the players. On top of that, people always think that playing video games is just a waste of time and people should focus on their work. And living lives by playing video games may seem unimaginable for us. But by the help of the internet, it becomes really plausible, and a lot of streamers on YouTube or Twitch is starting to earn a lot of money right now. A lot of professional teams and players rise up to earn money and glories just like traditional sport players. In CSGO, Legend of League, Dota, and many other games, we can see a lot of pro players coming out, and they are actually earning a lot of respect from people. There are more than 1 million people online watching the matches of CSGO, and the price of one tournament can be as high as $1 million. In Dota, the total amount of price of all the tournaments can be added to $20 million. In North America, the average salary of esports players is $400,000 per year, and they have a lot of prize money. It is the internet which made this happen, and it allows people to stay at home playing games to earn money. Also, it is worth to mention that streaming is also a big part of internet gaming industry. On Twitch, there are 4 million streamers in total, and there are on average 2.5 million viewers per day. Streamer has become a really popular job among teenagers right now. According to a research in China, now streamer has become the most wanted to do job among teenagers. In 2019, Mixer, which is a stream platform under Microsoft, signed the biggest streamer Shroud in Twitch, and it has spent more than $30 million. It's almost like a traditional soccer player transfer fee, which is crazy. Internet gaming is still in the developing stage, and it already has a huge impact to the whole society. And it really changes people's perception towards game and players. I think internet really gives us more opportunities not only in games but also in our lives. We can choose to play some games with old friends in our leisure time, or we can also watch some really funny streamers while we are having meals. Gone are the days where there were just one or two entertainment choices to pick from at any one time. And the future of internet and gaming is also bright. Talking about future, one thing we have to talk about is virtual reality. Finally, our technology is advanced enough to let people experience stories or games in a first-person view. And when it combined with games, everything changed. For the first time, people can experience other people's life just as their own lives. The intention and pressure are real, and there's nothing can compare with the experience. In 2020, Valve released a VR game called Half-Life Alyx, and it is just like a boom to the gaming industry. It is the first AAA VR game, and it provides a totally different experience from other games. Players need to solve the puzzles and fight against the monsters all by themselves in the first-person review. It gives players so much freedom, and the only thing I can say about it is that it's a great combination of VR and video games. The future of VR and games has so much possibilities that I can't even imagine. Just like Chris Milk mentioned in his TED Talk, what if it could let you live inside a dream? What if instead of just visiting some reality on Earth, you could surf gravitational waves on the edge of a black hole, or create galaxies from scratch, or communicate with each other not using words but using our raw thoughts? We do not know it. The possibilities of technologies are immense. Maybe someday, the boundary between virtual and reality can finally be broken up, and we are all Ready Player One.